Hello and welcome to the YouTube watch-along for the Wolfsburg game in the Champions League. Manchester United looking to try and give themselves a further win in the Champions League. Cannot wait to see whether they can manage it to make it 4 out of 4. Going to be absolutely brilliant. We are here to keep you across the entire game. We will give you a little bit of insight, a little bit of talking, and maybe a little bit of tactics as well as we go through the game. But it's not me here on my own. I am joined by two wonderful guests. The first and foremost of those. No, that's not true. There's no foremost. We'll start with Lindsay Johnson, shall we? Hello, Jono. How are you?
I'm very good, Liam. How are you?
Yeah, really well, thank you. Really well. And also former Manchester United and current Republic of Ireland defender Aoife Mannion's with us as well. Aoife, thank you for coming back. It's always nice to have you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right, OK, look, this is unbelievable. We didn't really think Manchester United would be 3 wins out of 3 in the Champions League at this stage. Brilliant performance against PSG last time out. It's Wolfsburg and a different kind of challenge away from home tonight. Jono, they have every chance of not only winning this, but qualifying for the knockout phases of the competition tonight.
Yeah, which would be unbelievable, you know, for their first time in Champions League as well, to be sitting with 3 points after 3 games. You know, Mark will be very pleased. And now, like you say, it's a different game. They've got Wolfsburg, who are a fantastic outfit, German side, who are, you know, they're always going toe-to-toe with Bayern Munich in that German Bundesliga as well. So it'd be great if they can get a result tonight. I think they'll be sitting really pretty after 4 games. Yeah,
really, really good, and hot off the back of a brilliant performance against PSG last week. They were incredible, weren't they?
They were so good, and I think it was such a historic night, partly because 2 years ago, the last time United played PSG, it was obviously PSG was the hurdle that United couldn't overcome on that day to get into the Champions League proper. So to almost do that full circle moment, beat them in the fashion that they did at United, at Old Trafford, in front of their own fans, I think it was just a bit of a match made in heaven, really. Yeah,
and 2 brilliant goals as well. A brilliant solo effort from Melvin Mallard. But I think for me, the real pick of that was the brilliant team goal from Fridolina Rolfö. Just almost everybody on the pitch had a touch, and it just goes to show that when Manchester United get it right under these Mark Skinner tactics, they are so difficult to play against, and they're a match for almost anybody on their day, John.
Yeah, they 100% proved that against PSG, who are a strong side. They've got some world-class players, and like Aoife said, it was a hurdle. And I remember that PSG game. We did it, didn't we, Liam?
Yeah.
And it was a tough, tight game. But I think overall, Manchester United, they deserved that 2-1 win. And I think it proves that where they're at and the levels they can play at under Mark Skinner. So it's about what happens next in this Champions League. It's Wolfsburg, and that's the next hurdle.
Yeah, absolutely the case. Well, let's try and figure out the personnel, shall we, who are going to be playing in this one. We will start with Manchester United, and maybe a little bit of a change to what we were anticipating, but because of the injury to Fallon Tullis-Joyce, still going to be Safia Middleton-Patel, who stays in goal for Manchester United. Then that back four, Dominique Janssen comes back into the side after her 1-match suspension, and it reunites Manchester United's best back four. Then in the middle of the field, a little bit of a change here. Hinata Miyazawa, we think, will play as the single pivot, the single number 6, just one in midfield, which is a little bit of a change. Zigiotti and Toon maybe in front of her, and then Awujo, Mallard and Rolfö as the front 3. I'm not quite sure that's what we thought was going to happen, but that's certainly what's currently happening. So we'll have to wait and see exactly how they end up lining up. In terms of Wolfsburg, well, they slightly different again. They've gone back to a back 4, which is, a little bit more what we thought might happen. So Johannes in there, really dangerous. But the real 2 to watch are those front 2 in Pop and Berenstain. They are absolutely incredible. We know all about Pop and the incredible career that she's had, both domestically and internationally. They're really going to be a handful, and Laetitia and Janssen in particular are going to have their hands full dealing with those 2 tonight. Right, rather than us listing them 1 to 11, I thought, considering we've got our tactics board and our tactics supremo with us, we might be able to do a little bit of digging into exactly what this Manchester United side's going to look like, because when we first saw the team news, we had a conversation about whether it might be Ella Toon that plays wide on the right-hand side, whether it be Ella Toon that played in the number 10, where Simi Awujo is going to fit, whether or not it's actually two deep-lying midfielders, the double pivot, as we spoke about last week, or whether it is the single pivot. And look, rather than me rabbiting on, it's probably best for you to try and explain what you think Mark Skinner is thinking about.
Well, I was just saying to Jono, this is an addition. Obviously, you weren't here last week. We've got the tactics forward now.
Yeah, we have.
One thing that we definitely know is that with Jess Park out and Simi Awujo in, whoever plays in that right wing area will definitely be probably a midfielder profile. So whether it's Elatoon or Simi, they're players that like to play in the centre of the pitch. And under Mark Skinner tactics, he places a lot of emphasis on his fullbacks getting really high and wide. So if this is Jade Riviere here as a fullback, when United are in settled possession, so you've got Maya Letizia on the ball with time and space, she likes to, Jade, step really high and wide. I like to say she attacks like a winger but defends like a fullback. So she likes to get really high and wide. And what that means for the winger in this situation, we think it's going to be Simi tonight, is that will push Simi into the pitch, which Liam is so lovelily doing here, if that's a word, lovelily. And that gives us two things. So one, it gives us a brilliant outlet with Jade. We see this connection of pass all the time between Maya Letizia and Jade, particularly that long ball that will beat the back line. And it also gives United a new tool in the toolbox with Simi, who is a really physical player, and she can run beyond the line of Wolfsburg. So she can make these sorts of runs from the centre of the pitch, beyond Wolfsburg's back line. And I think if they get it right, it could be a field day for Maya Letizia on the ball. But of course, until we see what it looks like, it's all if, buts and maybes. But I think that is what they're going to try and do. Jade really high and wide, and then Simi in the pitch.
The other thing that we spoke about quite a lot was if you can get Jade into these positions, what it allows is this to turn into almost a 4 here. And these pocket 10s, Mark Skinner has spoken about for a very long time. He feels like this is a real advantage for Manchester United. You've got a striker in Melvin who is able to stretch in behind, but also these pockets of space in between the defenders here and the defenders here. Mark Skinner thinks that that's a way to get at teams. He's done it for a couple of years now.
Yeah, massively, because the attacking midfielders that play in that space, so let's say like Elatoon here, it's really hard for the opposition defenders to know whose role that is. So if I just put this makeshift back line onto the pitch, maybe I'll give it to you, Liam.
Yeah.
Who's sticking 4 there? Any
4, yeah. OK, and let's try and space those out evenly. Left back, 2 centre-backs. There we go.
So if you look at this centre-back here, you would think, right, they could just go to Tooney, they'll just step on her. But hang on a second. If they step on Tooney, tonight we'll have Melvin Mallard free. So I think I said this last week, but I stumbled over my words. It's called occupying the back line with 5 players. And if you can get into that flow, it is so hard to play against. But last week, it took at least 15 minutes, I think, against PSG for United to really get settled possession. You can't just run away and go into that sort of shape off the bat, because if there's pressure on the ball here, you have to have more options to feed. Otherwise, you can't make passes and you have to be really direct. And when you're direct, that's fine, but you lose control of the game. So it will be a mix and a blend of trying to give Wolfsburg backline loads of problems to answer, but also you need to be aware of supporting the player on the ball.
Jono, you played centre-back, for a lot of your career. What do you do in this situation? Are you crying out for your midfielders to come and give you a hand here? Because otherwise one of you is having to deal with more than one player at once.
Yeah, of course. And Aoife, she talked about it then. It's that communication. Who goes? Do I go? So you give a problem to that back line. Am I going with the player to lock on? Or am I going to drop off and expect my midfielders to come in? And that needs to happen really quickly. And I think if United do that quick and that transition's quick, Wolfsburg has got a problem, but it needs to be quick as well, because if they lose possession of the ball, United in that position, they've then put their players higher up the pitch. They're then exploited at the back, so it needs to be done, with precision and keeping that ball as well. So they've got to have that in mind. I think the thing with Simi, what's interesting for me is we've not seen loads of Simi Awujo, so we don't know what she can do. Whereas that role, what you've just highlighted for that midfielder to come in field and for Riviere to go on the attack. I think Jess Park is made for that role, to come in field. She's good with the ball at her feet and finding those passes in between the defenders. Does Simi Awujo have that? I think what we saw last week, she's a physical player, she's athletic, she's got the legs. is she that creative player to do it as well?
Interesting. With this tactics board will play a part in, as we go through as well, just trying to explain different things to you, so we can reset that a little bit later on. If you want to get involved this evening, we not only recommend it, we actually need it. So if you could subscribe to the YouTube channel and just send us any questions, any talking points, where you're watching from, what you want to know about, that would be absolutely fantastic. We will do our level best to answer those questions for you. We've had one from a Manchester United fan inside the stadium at Wolfsburg. It's from Gary. He says, must be about 100 fellow Reds here. It's very cold. I'm taking a point now before kick-off. Come on, you Reds. Is it colder than it is at Old Trafford this evening? Because as I was walking in from the car park, it was Baltic. Baltic. We can tell, though, that Aoife Mannion has maybe embraced a little bit of the Newcastle lifestyle, turned up in a pair of shorts. And I'm not even kidding. Not even kidding.
I learned that in Manchester.
Oh, did you? Yeah, I don't blame you. Claudio says, come on, Manchester United. Derek says, my girls hope dig deeper into this game as you always do. Wolfsburg are going to be tough, but let's try and get a result tonight, says Mavis. Freddie says, come on, you Reds. Glory, glory, man United. All the best to the United girls. Come on, United. Come on, ladies. United ladies, best of luck. Come on, you guys. Look, brilliant stuff. Keep them coming. We love to hear from you as we go through the evening. It's absolutely fantastic. Teams are out. They're lining up, ready for the Women's Champions League anthem. We were having a conversation about this earlier on. Why it's a different anthem, I don't know. Surely it should just be the Champions League anthem. But bananas. Don't understand it. Plenty of other games going on this evening as well. So there's another 5:45 kickoff. That's Juventus against Lyon. Those two sides are the two final sides that Manchester United have left to play in the last two match weeks. And then a little bit later on, Arsenal, Real Madrid, Paris against Benfica. I think Siobhan Chamberlain's at that game in Paris tonight, so might give her a text at half time and see whether she can give us the lowdown. We won't be here, but she can give me the lowdown. Vålerenga and St Polten is the final fixture. With this anthem playing, players out on the pitch, you know that you've got 3 wins in a row. You know that you've got this 100% record. You know that a win essentially qualifies you for the knockout stages in some way, shape or form. What are the nerves like, do you think, going into the game?
I think they've been really confident. They've got 3 wins from 3. And like you say, if they win tonight, they all but qualify for the knockout stages. I think if they can get through tonight, I think they need to get a result tonight, because obviously the game next is against Lyon. That's the hardest game they're going to play in these 6 rounds of games. So I think, they'll be nervous, they'll be excited, and they'll just want to get the first touch on the ball, whether it's a first touch, a header, a tackle, whether Middleton Patel comes out and gathers the ball. They just want to get that over with and get on with it. But they'll be excited.
I absolutely love that purple training kit. I think it might be my favourite of the season so far. Really, really like it. That's available for you on the United store, by the way, if you want to get involved on the website and the app. It's I think it's my favourite training kit of the season so far. Right, we are not a million miles away from getting this one underway. Teams are posing for pictures. Just a brief moment to talk about Safi and Middleton Patel. Fallon Tullis-Joyce has a facial fracture, and is unavailable. That means that Safia gets 3rd game in a row. Prior to the PSG game, had played 1 League Cup fixture. Funnily enough, it was against Newcastle in the League Cup, I think, that she made a Manchester United debut. She's done brilliantly, all things considered, to come into a side, have the performance that she did against PSG. Nothing she could have done about any of the goals, really, against City at the weekend. She's been brilliant, hasn't she, Aoife? Yeah,
she's been really, really good. And she's not just a number 2, she's a goalkeeper that's had European experience in the summer. So for her, getting all of those experiences, getting a debut last season for United, this will really give her the foundation and the stepping stone to hopefully step outside of any nerves that she might feel and think, actually, I deserve this. And something I was also thinking is, Safia every day in training is training and playing against the forwards who, up until the weekend at least, were the 2nd highest scoring set of forwards in the whole league. So it's not just those big game experiences that she's now getting exposed to, like in the summer. It's also day in, day out, trying to save shots from Melvie Mallard, Ella Toone, Fredolina Rolfer, Elizabeth Turland. So I think she's prepared. And look, whenever you put a United badge on, that always gives you an extra few inches in terms of your stature and just that confidence. And I'm really willing for her to build on her PSG performance and take it to the next level.
A couple of players to really pick out tonight, and we'll talk about them as the game is just about to get underway. One of those is Dominique Janssen, and one is Fridolina Rolfö, both who have a bit of a history with Wolfsburg. Dominique Janssen, while she was at Wolfsburg, made 2 Champions League finals, lost both of them. One of the 2 that she lost when she was there was to Fridolina Rolfö's Barcelona. How important is it to have, we are underway by the way in the game, how important is it to have that big game experience in your squad? Manchester United maybe not had that for a long time and now have these big game players that are able to bring that experience even.
It's massively important, and it's something that as a player you can't quite put your finger on, and sometimes it's not until you've had these experiences that you realise just how important they are. And for most of the girls, their biggest experiences will be playing in the FA Cup finals. But then in recent years, you've got Ella Toon, who's won back-to-back Euros, Jess Park, who's just come onto the scene with the Lionesses, Maya Letitia, and then, of course, signings like Rolfö and then also Dom Janssen. I didn't even realise that she'd played in 2 European finals. So all of those things just changes your mindset when you go into a game where you've done this before and you just need to play to your strengths and play as good as you know that you can. It's kind of like just getting out of the way of yourself almost.
I think as well, you know, it's like, why do these same teams always win? Why do they do it? And why do the other teams chase them? But once you've got over that hurdle, it's like that muscle memory. You've been here before, you've done it, we've experienced it. You can control those arousal levels, because that's what it comes down to. You're training as hard as each other. It comes down who can control your arousal levels. And the Manchester United players, like Aoife's just said, in abundance, have all experienced high energy and high important games. But signing people like Rolfö, who's been there and won it, and you look around the change room, you're looking at someone like Rolfö, you're thinking, right, I'm going to follow her because she's got a Champions League medal.
And maybe that's why Fridolina Rolfö has been ever present in Manchester United's Champions League matchday squads. Is that experience is absolutely vital. The QR code on your screen should give you a bit of a hint as to where you can watch this game. You'll have noticed that we can't show it live here. That's because of UEFA rights restrictions. It means that we can't show it live on MUTV, and we can't obviously show it to you here on YouTube. So the idea here is that we are your companion app. So keep us on a second screen whilst you're watching the game. You can find out where to watch it wherever you are by scanning the QR code on your screen right now. Whilst you're thinking about scanning that, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Click the notifications bell as well, because all of the content that comes out on the Manchester United Women's YouTube channel over the course of the week would be brilliant. You get all the reaction to this game, plus all of the prep going into the next game, which actually isn't until I think the 7th of December. There's a little bit of a break here for Manchester United, a chance to give everybody a little bit of a rest, because there's been masses and masses of football for this relatively small squad. Lindsay, it's been the amount of times that I'm going to almost call you Jono over the course of this evening.
I think I prefer it.
What?
I feel like I'm in trouble when you call me Lindsay.
So right, so Jono from this point onwards, that works for me. It's not a massive squad. There has been a lot of football. It's something that maybe this Manchester United side aren't used to, is playing every 2 or 3 days. A break is probably exactly what the doctor ordered, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. You know, obviously the Champions League form is fantastic, but unfortunately, sandwiched in those Champions League games, has had the 2 league losses against Villa and City. So I think there's something in that. You've got to get used to playing games every 2 or 3 days, and the squad. There's no getting around it. The squad is not as big as the other teams in the Champions League from England, Arsenal and Chelsea, for this Manchester United squad. But what they've got is the players that they've got are quality players. So yeah, I think a couple of weeks rest, the international break. We say a rest. There's a lot of international players in this Manchester United side, but you know, a break is as good as a rest, and I think that's what it'll be. They'll be looking forward to that.
So just for clarity, I've just been trying to pick out exactly where everybody's actually playing, and it is Simi Awujo who is widest of the forwards out on the right-hand side. Elatoon just inside in that number 10 position. Zigiotti is holding a slightly higher line than we have seen when United have played the double pivot, and it is Hinata Miyazawa who is sat deepest. And after we had those conversations before, that means that Aoife is 100%. 11 out of 11, got everybody exactly. I mean, one of them's easy. You know where Safia Middleton Patel's going to play, but everybody else you've got absolutely spot on. United have started the game with the possession as well. Wolfsburg kicked us off, but Manchester United have been strong in possession so far. Sandberg's trying to get on the overlap again. Another cross comes into the penalty area. This is better from Manchester United in terms of how they want to play football. They want to squeeze. They want to cause you problems in the final third.
Yeah, massively. And as I'm watching, something that I'm noticing is that when Wolfsburg haven't got the ball, so when they're pressing United, they don't seem to be playing with out-and-out wingers. And what that means is that the players that are pressing out to the fullbacks, so let's say in this situation, Anna Sandberg, is actually midfielders. That's a massive distance for Huth, their number 10, to press out. So when I was just watching Anna run down the line then, I was thinking, where's her marking player? And it would really, really surprise me if they weren't going to try and man-mark United's fullbacks, especially knowing that United do so well getting up the pitch with their fullbacks. So I think that's something definitely to keep your eye on, is who is marking United's fullbacks when they're running down the line, because if they don't mark them, I mean, these girls are so good. Probably the best few fullbacks in the WSL. I would find it really hard to believe that they wouldn't have someone player marking them.
Yeah, it's interesting. United are playing the majority of their football inside the Wolfsburg half at the moment, and it's exactly what we anticipate from a Mark Skinner Manchester United side. It's high energy, high press. They're not giving Wolfsburg a minute on the ball. It's very physical. Wolfsburg trying to outmuscle Manchester United, but Jade Riviere, that's probably the third or fourth time in the opening 10 minutes that we've seen her fouled in possession. And if it carries on like this, the referee is going to have absolutely no choice but to start dishing out the yellow cards, which would help this Manchester United side even further, wouldn't it, Jono?
Yeah, I think, and that's the captain Pop there, who's gone in on Riviere as well. And obviously she's an aggressive physical player, but you can just see that they're frustrated that they haven't had the ball. What's really impressive about Manchester United in this start of the game as well is the high energy, high up the pitch, but the movement of the ball, it's progressive, they're passing with intent, and they've obviously started the game really well, and that's what Mark would want.
Jade Riviere is down here and just struggling ever so slightly from that challenge from Pop. Now for me, and I understand that, you know, I'm currently wearing a Manchester United crest on my top, but that's a tackle from behind. There's no real sort of playing for the ball. There's no yellow card being dished out there. For me, that is all day, every day, a yellow card. There's been no contact with the ball from Pop, and it's come all the way through the back of Jade Riviere, who is down and struggling with her right ankle at the minute. This is a little bit of a concern for United, Aoife.
Yeah, I hope that for Jade it's just a dead leg. And I say just a dead leg, they can be really sore. But when I watched it, it looked like Pop came through the back of her. But as we can see now on the television, it's Jade's ankle that Siobhan, the physio, is having a look at. And I know that over the years, Jade has had some problems with her ankles. I mean, Jade's problem is that she's so quick and agile that people can't get close to her. So they end up going in for tackles and trying to win the ball when really they have no right to. She looks up and fine here, which is really good, but definitely the Wolfsburg players need to be careful.
No real problems, hopefully, for Jade Riviere, and if anything, it's brought the attention of the foul to the referee. Slovakian refereeing team Mirjana Boškova is in charge of the game today. Free kicks just into the penalty area. I'm going to read some of your comments in just a second, whilst this ball is put into the box. If I could get my words out today, that would be absolutely fantastic. DJ Darkest Night says, hope the Barmy Army made it over to Germany tonight. They'll spur our girls on. Definitely 100 or so from the comment that we received earlier. Maybe a few more. Brilliant on a midweek night, 5:45 kickoff in Germany to get people over there. Really well done to everybody that's travelled. Ross says United will win this tight game. I feel they'll be very strong defensively, and offensively they'll be unbelievable. Well, so far so good, Ross, is what I would say, as Wolfsburg just coming in the opposite direction. Dominique Janssen steps out, intercepts, but it's Wolfsburg again that are going to have a shot from distance, well claimed by Safia Middleton-Patel, and that's her first claim of the game, and that's a confidence builder regardless of how easy or difficult they are, just to get one under your belt. Umar Detti says, come on United, we're with you girls. Krishna says, please do more watch-alongs. Please, please, please. Well, there you go. We've got at least 2 more coming for you with a little bit of luck. And if Manchester United's women can qualify for the knockout stages, who knows? There might be a few more as well. Brina says, Man United, best of luck. Best of luck to my fellow Canucks, Jade and Simi. That one all the way from Canada. Thank you very much indeed. Meanwhile, we are watching Manchester United building up around the edge of the penalty area. That's going to try and find a route through to Fridolina Rolfö. She has been brilliant at finding areas of space against teams, arriving late into the penalty area, and has obviously scored 2 in this campaign so far. A brilliant sort of rifled effort into the roof of the net, and the header against PSG last week. Both brilliant goals. Yeah,
what I loved about last week's goal is her movement as well. Obviously, it was a unbelievable team goal, but her movement to come off that left side into that 6-yard box and that central area to get into the box, to get on the end of the cross, I thought it was fantastic. And she scored 2 goals in Champions League, and that shows that this is where she feels really comfortable and she really steps into her own. I think the game as well, just at the moment, it's played at such a high pace from both teams. Both teams are pressing high, but United, the way that they've started it. And do you not think as well, Melvin Mallard, when she starts a game, the energy she brings, not taking anything from Turlin, she has her fantastic qualities, but I think Melvin Mallard just lives for these Champions League games as well.
I really enjoy watching Melvin Mallard, and just when she was in on loan, and I heard somebody say never fall in love with a lone player, and you then sort of go, oh no, I'm really enjoying watching you play football, but you've got to go back, and then she comes back into the, that's off the crossbar, goodness me. Wolfsburg rifling one in from the edge of the 18-yard box. It bounces off the woodwork and away. Again, nothing that Safia Middleton-Patel can do about that. It struck so well, really well. It's that Huth that hits it, and it comes off the crossbar and away, and United get it clear. Wow, that's as close as you can get without scoring, Aoife.
Yeah, that looked really close to me, and it lands really fortuitously for Wolfsburg in that. I think it was Berenstain that tried to hit it, kind of flicked off a leg, and then for Huth to strike that. I don't know if she actually meant what would have been an amazing kind of lobbed shot. Obviously, it goes off the crossbar and then out, but thankfully that ended up okay.
Meanwhile, United going in the opposite direction. I just can't quite squeeze that through to Fridolina Rolfö, who was playing out-and-out number 9 then for Manchester United. Ziggiotti clearly fouled in midfield. Referee agrees with me. Wolfsburg do not, and there is a free kick to Manchester United. It's just a little late. Just catches Ziggiotti with the outstretched boot, but that does give a set piece to United, and that's something else that we should probably talk about, is just how important these are going to be this evening, both offensively and defensively for Manchester United. The ability to get the ball into the box is going to be crucial.
Yeah, set pieces are such an important part of the game. I think about 25% of goals are scored through something from a set piece, and I've always found that European referees, certainly in Champions League, give frees more readily than in the WSL. So I know it's something that the coaches will be drilling, like try and take your fouls where you get them, but also as a defender, us as centre-backs, don't give them away cheaply, because it's such an easy way to give the opposition a chance to put a really dangerous ball into the box.
Still watching United try and work this around the edge of the penalty area. They're not over committing here, United just trying to work it into good positions, and that's quite characteristic of this Manchester United side as well. They don't pull the trigger, or they don't try and force it into the box. They just keep recycling until they find an opportunity to work it through what is quickly turning into a low block from Wolfsburg. That's brilliant from Melvin Mallard. Lovely bit of skill. Great cross. Oh, goodness me. Fridolina Rolfö. What a header. And the cross from Melvin Mallard is perfect. Brilliant bit of skill down the left-hand side. Clipped into the box. And the header from, well, she is Mrs. Champions League at the minute. every time Fridolina Rolfo turns up in the penalty area, and it is a bullet header from the edge of the 6-yard box. What a goal that is.
What a ball from this wicked whipped-in ball from Melvin Mallard. As you were just saying, Liam, before, they were in a low block when there was lots of numbers behind the ball, and that ball was pinpoint. And as a centre-back, when you're facing your goal, no one's locked onto Rolfo, but we don't want to talk about that yet. Let's talk about how good the goal was first. But as a centre-back, you're coming back. It's so hard to defend that. It was whipped in with so much pace and power. And again, Rolfo finds the space in that dangerous area. And you know she's going to score as soon as you know it's her. Great goal.
Such an amazing team goal as well. Originally the ball started on the right-hand side with Zighiotti out as the winger, gets transferred around. Melvin Mallard, who is playing as the single striker, is the one on the left wing putting the ball in on her left foot. She's right-footed. And then Rolfo, who's playing as the left winger, but in this instance is the number 9, just pops up between the two centre-halves. And what an incredible finish. Have all of her goals been on a first touch in the Champions League?
Yeah, I think that's probably about right. That's absolutely incredible. Really good header from the edge of the 6-yard box. Kalani says, hopefully Rolfo scores another Champions League goal tonight. Well, look, you obviously have manifested that into the universe, so we'll take it all day, every day. Absolutely brilliant. If you want to get involved in the chat, then you need to be subscribed to the Manchester United Women YouTube channel. We would highly recommend it because it means that we get to have a little bit of a natter with you. Fridolina Rolfo, is that 3 and 4 in the Champions League for her? That is absolutely incredible work from her. What was really interesting is that she is playing technically out wide on the left-hand side, but finds herself coming in from the right channel there to make the run into the centre of the penalty area. And that probably is why nobody's picked her up. Somebody could well have been given the job of looking after Rolfo. Rolfo's not there. I haven't got to deal with Rolfo, and then all of a sudden she appears from behind you.
Yeah, I mean, when the ball was initially in the right-hand channel, Mark always likes to have his opposite side wingers in the box. So if you imagine, Rolfo goes into the box, but then in the meantime, the ball gets transferred out, so she ends up as the 9, and it's really hard as a defensive line to pick up players that aren't actually your players, and you have to be so quick and clear with your communication. Clearly, they just switched off for a moment, and with a player with Rolfo's quality and timing, it's not good enough from Wolfsburg, and equally it's such a good finish from her.
Yeah. Mia says knows how to score the important goals. Balance says Rolf on a Champions League high. Rob says love these watch-alongs, enjoying from Clovis, California. Nice to hear from you. Gina says the middle of my work day and enjoying the game from Toronto. Let's go. 1-1. Yeah, that's just one of those situations where Manchester United have been caught out. It's a lovely bit of movement from Wolfsburg, and the finish is decent as well. What did you make of it, Jono?
I think Manchester United have played themselves into that, where I think Riviere's gone down. I don't really know what's happened to Riviere, but I did think, is she offside initially?
I think she's on.
Yeah, just in line. But here, this ball there, it's played back, but Safi Milton reads it wrong, goes to her right, the ball's going to her left, and then her distribution, her clearance is straight to, who is it for Wolfsburg? Is it Pedamors? Pedamors, yeah. And she's. I mean, it's a good finish, isn't she? She's got the time and space to do, but that's come from just they've allowed themselves to get put under pressure, and Safi Middleton there is just, it's a distribution, isn't it? But a bit of a mix-up between her and Letitia as well.
So Maya Letitia has played the ball back to the right foot of Safia Middleton-Patel, who has drilled the ball low to the edge of the 18-yard box rather than managing to lift it clear, and it's been intercepted by Pedamors, who takes a touch and turns it away. Jade Riviere, in the meantime, has caught one in the face. Yeah, can understand that. That's I think that's Berenstain, isn't it? That just gets across, and as she gets across with the right arm, catches Jade Riviere. I'm not sure there's enough in that to overturn the goal, but you can understand why she might be struggling a little bit with it, with the elbow getting raked across the cheek.
And when your teammate goes down like that, So when they're clearly in a little bit of distress on the floor, it's really hard for a moment as a player around that not to stop and look at them. And you can tell when we were watching it back that as Jade goes on the floor, actually the players kind of look at her and assume that the referee is going to blow the whistle, but you can just never assume that the ref is going to give something or stop the game. In hindsight, if it's a head injury, it should have been stopped, but I don't know if that's enough to necessarily overturn the ball. And like you say, it's really unfortunate. The clearance goes straight into the path of Pedamors, who I told you was called Papadamors, not correct.
I ignored it. Yeah.
And then it was an incredible finish. Like the finish, no one could do anything with that. I think it was right into the side stanchion, but probably a disappointing and a deflating goal to concede, certainly with how good they were doing.
Yeah, and I think when you've scored a goal, you're vulnerable, aren't you, to concede, and that's what you're taught from such a young age. Switch on. You've just scored. You know, you're elated, you're aroused. So it is disappointing, but you know it's 1-1, and they can very much be this. I think they've started really well. So just have to see if Riviere can stay on the pitch though at this point, because she doesn't look in great shape as she's coming off.
I think she's going to be able to continue by the looks of things. But I also think we've had the VAR check. I don't know for certain it's been checked and cleared, but I think we've still got earpiece, you know, the whole. I'm speaking
Bond,
to the VAR going on at the minute. So the referee is obviously having a conversation. So Miriama Boškova in conversation with Michal Oshanas in the VAR room. So it obviously hasn't been cleared yet. So 1-1 is currently the scoreline. It's just whether or not there is enough of a foul in the build-up on Jade Riviere to overturn it. Referee having a conversation with both captains. It is going to count. And Pop walks away, pumps fists, and it's 1-1. The bonus to take away from this, if you can find any silver linings in conceding, is that that's not a goal that has been magnificently worked by Wolfsburg into an area where they've cut you to shreds. It's an error, and Manchester United still remain, even though it is 1-1, the side that have had the better of this, the beginning part of this half.
Massively. I mean, United have definitely been the better team. For me, it seemed like a warning shot from Wolfsburg. They're not a team that necessarily needs to be playing loads of intricate passes in order to get shots, and they are really, really efficient in front of goal. So if anything can be taken from this, I think it's that no matter what the score is, United need to be so switched on, because as you can see, one little moment where the ball falls awkwardly and all of a sudden it's 1-1 from nothing, from no good play from Wolfsburg, and that's what I think disappointing. But to have that so early in the game happen, I think if you're in the mindset of a player, you know, right, I need to switch on now. You know, I cannot take my foot off the ball, no matter how foot off the pedal, no matter how good we think we're playing.
Yeah, we'll wait and see what comes of that. Simia Wujo is absolutely flying around, getting challenges in, just trying to keep the pressure on high up the field. That's obviously what she's in the side for. We've seen how brilliant she can be, how raw she is, the talent that she's got, the energy levels that she brings. Absolutely brilliant. So hopefully this can be another one of those breakout games for her as we go through the course of the evening. Elsewhere, Juventus leading Lyon by 1-0 in Turin. So we will keep an eye on that one as well. That's a little bit of a shock for us. If you could get in touch with us, we would love to hear from you. The best way to do that is to subscribe to the Manchester United Women's YouTube channel, and then you can get stuck in the comments section. Whilst you're subscribing, you might as well click the bell, and then you don't miss any of the great content that goes out on the YouTube channel over the course of the week. We've got fans already been in touch from Milan and Canada and Ghana. We've got somebody inside the stadium in Germany. Any more, just let us know. We would love to hear from you. Even if you've got any questions for Jono or for Aoife, you can chuck those in, and as long as they're broadcastable, you know, you can read them out. Maya Letitia could be crucial for United tonight. We spoke about her when you were doing your tactics before, about how important her distribution from right-sided centre-back could be, and we've seen now that whenever she's getting the opportunity, is taking the ground in front of her, but then delivering a decent right-footed pass up towards those forward players.
I feel bad, really, because I so often give so much credit and plaudits to the forwards that I forget about Maya Letitia. I think when I was listening to Rachel Brown's commentary at the weekend, she summed it up perfectly. Maya Letizia is gold dust. To have a player that young, performing so well, so available for every game, so fit, so good on the ball, it really is gold dust. And to me, it's clear that the team gets built around someone like that. And to see how she stepped in to her leadership roles as the captain of the club, I think it's brilliant. And like you say, she's a player that when the ball is at her feet and she's been given a bit of time and space, she can get her head up and find passes. So I think that she'll be a big part now of the push to really turn this result around and start to keep putting the pressure on Wolfsburg and find those really damaging passes in dangerous areas for Wolfsburg.
Maybe says United, we stand, let's go for the second goal. This game feels like it has more goals in it, and it feels like it's one of those games that could become a feisty affair as we go through the 90 minutes. So we'll keep a little eye on that situation as it develops. What I'm finding really interesting is the energy levels that are being put into this by the likes of Simi Awujo and Melvin Mallard, who are chasing everything. If the ball goes over the top, the ball gets plays back to the goalkeeper, they are absolutely chasing as hard as they can to make sure that they can squeeze, and they're getting numbers to the ball as well.
Yeah, and I think they have to start that. What they'll have practiced on the training pitch is that they'll be the catalyst there, the person who start that high press. And you can see Melvin Mallard, when she's running, she's looking over her shoulder to make sure that the rest of the units are coming with them, because it won't work unless the whole pack does it together. And I think to have a player like Melvin Mallard and Awujo, their speed, athleticism, and their strength as well, careering down as you're a defender, you don't want that.
So corner for Wolfsburg, and Safia Middleton-Patel just trying to find herself a bit of space in the penalty area, being blocked off by some rangy Wolfsburg players. Does get a good punch to it, and the ball is away. And Latoon looking to get the ball clear. He's pickpocketed. Couple of things here. No English side has ever beaten Wolfsburg at home. So in Germany, no English side has ever beaten Wolfsburg. Manchester United, obviously 100% record in the Champions League so far this season. One of those records has to go. Whether it is, United taking the win and becoming the first English side to ever do that, or whether it is the 100% record, one of those things has got to go, and that just gives a little added edge, doesn't it, Jono?
Yeah, of course it does. Obviously, first and foremost, they'll just want to get something from this game. Where the 3 points is brilliant, but a point. So yeah, I think it will add an added edge. When you were saying that, I was racking my brain, because we did play Wolfsburg at Everton, I remember, and we did beat them. You're right, we didn't. Alexandra Popp, I think she was 18 when she burst on the scene, and we were playing them at home, and I give her 2 goals, I think, personally. I just laid it in for her and said, go and have that. And then she burst on the scene. So yeah.
You've just done an excellent job at getting my heart racing, where you went, wow, I was racking my brains. I think you'll find that we beat them 2-0.
No,
that would have been, that would have been a little on the scary side. No. So yeah, let's wait and see. Those records are there to be broken, aren't they? That's what one of our lovely camera ops told me earlier on. That's the best way to look at it. Thank you very much, Holly, for that positivity in my life. That's exactly what I needed. United just trying to play themselves back into the game at the minute. 1-1, scored first. Wolfsburg have equalised, but now back on the ball, and it's really well played. Hinata Miyazawa just caught in possession, then goes back in and makes an absolutely beautiful challenge as well. That's what we like to see. Hinata Miyazawa on Alexandra Popp.
And that's really good from Miyazawa, because Pops give a couple of challenges out, and the refs let 2 of them go. Like you said, that first challenge in the first 2 minutes, wasn't it, where she possibly could have got a yellow. There's been another one where she's racked her foot down the back of Miyazawa, so fair play to Hinata.
We're out again here, Wolfsburg, after stealing the ball back and coming through midfield. Alexandra Popp has got that about her, has had that about her for a very long time, an aggressive player. You only need to think back to the Euros, don't you, in that final at Wembley, where she was a nuisance for Germany for 90 minutes, and wasn't it Ella Toon actually that, or it might have been Jill Scott that just got a little bit frustrated with her over the course of that game, and actually it just goes to show that occasionally, without overstepping, you have to fight fire with fire. You've got to be just as aggressive back even.
Yeah, and I think that's something that Mark is really clear for his team to do, is that forget about the tactics, and we talk about, you know, a box midfield or a winger rolling inside. Forget about that. Rule number one is you have to be able to match the energy and the intensity of the team that you're playing against. And I've just been sat here smiling since Hinnie did that to Pop, because really it's David and Goliath in terms of size. And when I watch Hinnie in training and when I've watched her in the gym, very rarely would you see her really reaching or doing anything super explosive. Her timing and her rhythm is so good that it almost looks like she's just in second gear. But when she just shoulder barge Pop, then I thought, okay, she's really at the races today, because that's not something that she would need to be doing every day. So yeah, I think that sets United on good stead, and it shows to me that this is a United team that are willing to do what it takes to win, even if that means actually matching the physicality first and foremost before all of the brilliant passes.
Winning your 1v1 duels, that's your first and foremost, isn't it? And then once you've done that, you can then work on your tactics, but you've got to win that 1v1 duel.
You may have seen me pull a funny face before. It was because Melvin Mallard and Simi Awujo, again, just it's full sprints into the box to try and get the press on the goalkeeper, and it's so good to see, because all it does is it forces Wolfsburg to be moving the ball more quickly than they want to be moving the ball, and then you stand a chance of turning it over again. Juventus are 2-0 up against Lyon in Turin. Bakari and Cambiaghi, the two goal scorers there. That's a turn up for the books. I'm not sure we were anticipating that one. Juventus 7th currently in the standings of the group phase in the Champions League, and Lyon are Lyon.
Well, yeah, Lyon are Lyon, and they've won the Champions League a number of times, and they've got world-class players. But just shows the levels of this Champions League, the teams that are in it. I think it's really competitive league, and obviously Manchester United have got to play both of those teams yet. But yeah, I think that'll be a massive turn up for the books if that stays as it is.
That was almost an unnecessary intervention from Curver. Knocks the ball away and gives Manchester United possession back in a really good area in the form of a throw-in, I think. But Jade Riviere is excellent at these long throws. Josh says Frido's a cheat code in the Champions League. Yes, absolutely. Someone Great Six, which is a fantastic name. Who do you guys think could be the game changer for Manchester United? Either off the bench or the players that are already on the field. Who do you think has the potential to change the game for United?
Well, if we're talking about players on the pitch at the moment, then Rolfo, just because she's so clinical, and she's proven, obviously, her pedigree, we know what she can do, but like you say, she's got 3 goals in 4 games in Champions League, so on the pitch, I would say Rolfo, but there's plenty on the bench to come on as well, isn't there, Aoife?
Yeah, and I would say to add that, probably a name that really she's only just coming on the scene is Simi. Her energy tonight has been electric. I think that she is being a game changer for United in terms of what she's doing off the ball, and then of course she brings some brilliant sort of physical presence and directness going forwards. Off the pitch, I would say Jess Park, probably one of the really obvious ones. And then let's not forget Elizabeth Turland, who has been so clinical from crosses in between the sticks. Certainly at the first part of the season. I mean, we were only talking about her scoring a hat-trick. I forget, was it against
Bran?
Was it Bran?
Yeah, where she'd scored a goal off a left foot, a goal off a right foot, and a header.
Yeah.
So I think that's something a little bit different about this United team from previous years, is that there is some real quality on the bench, and not necessarily an 100% obvious starting 11. And I think that's a really good thing for the team.
Everybody has their own profile as well, doesn't they? So if you start Melvin Mallard as the number 9, what you're getting is those runs in behind that are really difficult for defenders to deal with. And if you just waiting for Safia Middleton Patel to get a foot on that, she does. She gets it away to Anna Sandberg. Whereas if you start Elizabeth Turland, you're looking for a bully inside in the 18-yard box, somebody that is excellent, a bit like Ruud van Nistelrooy was for Manchester United, where you don't really score goals from outside the penalty area, they are all sort of inside the box. Wolfsburg coming down the left-hand side, looking to get the crossing. It's Simi Arujo that's come all the way back to get the block in, and that's absolutely brilliant. Mr. Bless Clap 4901 says, can you discuss how women's football has changed over the last few years? I think that's very interesting, namely because we were talking about this before we came on air, weren't we, about how essentially we're seeing more use of physicality in the women's game as seasons go by, whereas before maybe it was one team's ability was at a much higher level. That's landed on the roof of the net. It's come off a Wolfsburg. Oh no, it's come off Safia Middleton-Patel. Well, Wolfsburg thought that had come off one of the Wolfsburg players because they were all disappearing out for the goal kick, but it's adjudged to have come off Safia. Just have a look. No, it has. It should have been a goal kick, but it's been given as the corner by the official. Sorry, to go back to what I was saying is, we're now seeing this sort of great leveller in terms of physicality and the athleticism and the full-time nature of football. It's really changed the women's game.
Oh, I think what the quality of football that you see in, let's talk about the WSL, and we talked about the Champions League, is so much better. And you are right, it's more competitive week in, week out. You're not getting massive score lines in the WSL, although there is still a big gap between the top four and the rest, but it's a lot more physical because of the professional side, and all the girls are professional now. But the infrastructure and what's been the backing of women's football, and obviously the media rights. So there's a financial backing to it as well. But yeah, I think on the pitch, which is where I look at the improvements the most, is the competitive nature, the improvement of the quality on the pitch. But yeah, in my opinion, it's always been quite physical. Back in my day, it was probably a little bit more physical than what you can get away with now.
I think I was on Facebook recently, and there was like when a video will come up from 5 or 10 years ago. A video came up of a clip of me playing at Birmingham, so I was just watching a free kick come in here.
Flicked away to the back post. Yeah, there was Melvin Mallard just penalised for the foul for the free kick. Oh, that's an absolutely brilliant effort from distance. It's come all the way through the penalty area, nestled in the bottom left-hand corner. It's 2-1, and I think it's the second of the game, is it, for Pedamors, who's just decided to take one on from distance. Has it taken a deflection on the way through? Potentially. Safia Middleton-Patel unable to reach it. Wolfsburg have turned it round 2-1.
Yeah, it's disappointing because Manchester United haven't been able to clear it fully. It's this second phase, and it comes out to Pedamors again. And I don't know if it takes a touch. I think it's took a bounce and skidded on. Safia Middleton-Patel actually gets a hand to it, but it's not a strong enough hand, and it goes into the back of the net. We just see it there. A couple of plays in the way, maybe. She's unsighted a little bit with her vision, but I think it's that where it hits the ground and skids on into the back of the net. That's done Safia a little bit there.
Yeah, that'll be one that when Safia has a little look back, she'll be a bit disappointed that she hasn't managed to keep a strong hand to it. But she is unsighted. She does see it late. She's got to react to it, and once you're already sort of going down like that, thinking that you're going to be able to cover it off, it's then very difficult to adjust yourself. So, yeah, United will be disappointed that they're 2-1 down, but I still don't think that Wolfsburg have been head and shoulders the better side in the game. It's just a case of United continuing to do the things that they've done well already and continue to do those, Aoife.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, really the ball is now, or the onus is now on United to get themselves back into this game. And it was such a strange goal to concede, actually, because Pedamors strikes it from so far out, and to me she almost struck it like it was a cross, but it was so low, and like Jono said, it took a few awkward bounces, but it had a really mean curl on it and just seemed to sneak its way into right into the corner of the net. That's deflating, and again it's another warning shot for United that Wolfsburg aren't a team that need to play well.
That's another good cross into the penalty area. It's well defended by Dominique Janssen. Jade Riviere caught on the ball, and now Wolfsburg into the box again with numbers. Good block from Sandberg. This is where United need to be a little bit careful. Cross comes in and it goes behind, and they do get away with it. Just a little bit of confusion at the minute between defenders and goalkeeper, and nobody quite picking up where they need to be picking up, and this will be something that Mark Skinner wants to get them into the dressing room at half-time to have a conversation about.
Yeah, I think at 2-1, you know, the United are very much in this game still, so they just need to ride this out. I think before the goal as well, I did notice, you know, we know the first goal came from a mix-up between Laetitia and Safi Middleton-Patel, and I think it's just the distances between Safi Middleton-Patel and Laetitia. I think Safi Middleton-Patel just needs to drop off a little bit when Mayer's got the ball, give herself a little bit more room, so she's got that room to take a touch as well. I think that's putting United under a little bit more pressure. But again, you know, it's only a third game, and it's such a high-profile game as well. But you know, this is what it is, and it's you know, cutthroat in these sort of positions, and Wolfsburg are an experienced side in the Champions League.
Let's also have it absolutely right. If we were to look at the stats, expected goals 0.59 for Wolfsburg, 0.56 for Manchester United, 51% possession for Wolfsburg, 49 for United. These two sides are pretty well evenly matched over the course of the game. The difference really between the two sides is that Wolfsburg have managed to get 7 shots away. United have only managed 2, and that'll be something that Mark Skinner is aware of, and when he gets them into the dressing room at half-time to have a conversation with them, it will be something around, look, you're getting yourself into good areas, but we need to find a way to get the final piece of the jigsaw in place. And that's kind of another example as the ball comes back out to the edge of the 18-yard box. Nobody quite willing to pull the trigger.
I think you're right, Liam, and I think they look vulnerable at the back, Wolfsburg. You know, they don't look settled. We've seen Curva, the ball's coming into her, and instead of taking her control, she's straight away looking over her shoulder, but she's worried about Mallard, and she's kicking the ball out. So I would definitely get those balls into the front 3 players, you know, their fluidity where they're moving and changing the shape up front. That's the back 4 for Wolfsburg. They're worried about that. So yeah, they're still in this game, and it's a close game.
You know, we were surprised when Juventus went 2-0 up. Juventus are 3-0 up against Lyon. Yeah, I know. Oof. Pinto with the goal. 3-0 inside 37 minutes. That is a real turn up for the books against Lyon. Free kick to Manchester United on the edge of the penalty area, and it is Linda that has just got caught by the fast feet of Melvin Mala, and the first yellow card of the game as well. So that gives Manchester United an opportunity 3 minutes before half-time to try and get something working. We'll just take another look at the replay here. Oh, it's just a pullback on Melvin Mallard, who was just trying to roll in behind.
Is that not a yellow card?
It was.
Oh, did you? I missed that, sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. Jono, your view on that is absolutely correct, yes. It was a yellow card, but also a little unnecessary, because I think the ball was actually slightly overhit, and I'm not sure Melvin Mallard's getting to it, but the second that you get pulled back in an area like that, this is a lovely position for a free kick. It's maybe a yard off the corner of the penalty area on the left-hand side. You've got 2 options: the right foot delivery, where you could have a go at goal if you're Ziggiotti, or the left foot cross from Anna Sandberg. What would you be wanting in this situation?
I think it will be Anna, but I think it would be more awkward as a defender for the in-swinging cross that's kind of taking you right towards the keeper. So it'll be interesting to see who takes it. I think Anna's doing more movement. We can see them both stood up here, as though she's like really getting ready and getting a sense of this is his.
Ziggiotti drills it towards goal. Just needed somebody to run across it. Doesn't quite get that run. It's straight into the hands of the goalkeeper. I was wondering whether somebody might have a go actually from that kind of range.
Yeah.
It was a little too straight, wasn't it? If that's going to be a genuine effort on the goal, of course, it needs to be put into the corners, and she just ends up drilling it right into the hands of Johannes, and it doesn't quite test her, but it was certainly an amazingly dangerous area to get a free kick from, literally right on the edge of the box.
So this was the effort, and Yeah, you can see just a little bit straight, as Aoife was saying. We can only show you a couple of clips a half during this game. Again, it's all down to UEFA rights restrictions. We'd love to be able to bring you more. We'd love to be able to show you the goals, but the only way that you're going to be able to see those is once the window passes and we're able to then put them on the Manchester United website and app. So if you want to see the goals later on, then make sure you stay notified on the YouTube channel and make sure that you are registered for the official Manchester United app as well. If you want to get involved in the conversation, we want to hear from you. Just make sure you are subscribed, as I say, and then you can get involved in the live chat. DJ Darkest Night says, MUTV team, if we lose this, are we out? I'm confused these days with the format. Absolutely not. Manchester United, I think, are going to need something. Well, 12 points would have confirmed their place in the knockout phase. We're still in the group phase at the minute, which is like a big league. And inside the big league, you play 6 fixtures against 6 other teams in the 18-team group phase. So everybody, you'd only play those teams once as well. It just gets a little bit complicated. But essentially, Manchester United currently sit 3rd in the group phase table with 9 points and 100% record. If they were to lose, they would still have 9 points with 2 games left to go and still in with a really good chance of qualifying for the next phase, which would be the knockout phase. That's where it starts to get slightly confusing as the ball's been given away by United in a dangerous area here. Shot's going to come in from distance. That is unbelievable. What a finish that is. Rifled into the top right-hand corner from 28, 29 yards, and it's into the postage stamp. 3rd shot on target for Wolfsburg and 3 goals.
I mean, it ends up being a really, really good finish from Berenstain, and she doesn't even need to set it outside the line of her body. She almost just like stabs down into the ball, and it just has this mean outside curl on it that really brings it right into the corner of the net. Unfortunate again for United that really it's United that have created this chance almost for Wolfsburg by unfortunately giving away the ball playing out from the back, which is just so deflating, and it ends up being an incredible finish from Wolfsburg's number 9, Berenstain.
And not taking anything away from that strike, because that is an unbelievable strike. Like you say, she picks it up, and as she strikes it, it takes a swerve as well, doesn't it? It kind of goes in and then out into that top corner. But I totally agree that you could argue that the 3 goals have possibly come from Manchester United mistakes.
Chance at the other end. Melvin Mallard scored one back. Brilliant. Melvin Mallard. We were talking about this just the other day. Being physical, getting in and about it inside the penalty area, turning an average ball into a good ball. And that's exactly what Melvin Mallard does, just by being a little bit physical. And the finish, talk about acrobatic, it's brilliant. Putting herself around on the edge of the penalty area, bit of pushing, bit of shoving, gets on the end of it and turns it home. Brilliant.
Yeah, really, really good looping finish there. First time finish from Melvin Mallard. Comes over one shoulder, she moves with the flight of the ball and then just hits it back across the body. And I've worked with a coach that calls this eating your crumbs. This is like breadcrumbs in terms of a chance. She takes it, it's not really a chance, but look at that, just like that, they're right back into the game. And United have just done to Wolfsburg what Wolfsburg have been doing to United. I think that's the key here. You have to be clinical in both boxes, and I'm really, really pleased for the girls that they can go into half-time, hopefully, off the back of a boost of a brilliant goal from Melvin.
A 1-goal differential feels about right, doesn't it? Like, I'm not sure 3-1 at half-time is reflective of the game that we've seen, Jono.
No, of course it isn't, and you know, it would have been disappointing and kind of unfair for them. However, we're talking about being clinical in both boxes. Then they're not defending as well as they should do in that defensive box.
Chance here for Mallard in the box again, going to try and get this through to Awujo, just about taken away, but that's brilliant. All started off by Simi Awujo with some strong running in midfield, but now Manchester United have realised that, yeah, they can actually get at Wolfsburg, and you can see the confidence has just been turned up with in the last 60 seconds of this half. I tell you what, they'll be pushing now, won't they? They'll be thinking maybe we can get ourselves level before we go in at the break.
Yeah, and there's a possibility. I do think, as we've highlighted before, the back four for Wolfsburg are vulnerable. They don't look settled. Even that for that goal, before Mallard had a shot on goal, she was making a nuisance. She was really tight on Curver, pushed her back to make that space, so she had the space to get the shot off eventually when the ball come back in.
Zigiotti just gets blindsided on the edge of the 18-yard box there. I'm not quite sure in the blind spot. Couldn't spot the player coming back to get her. There is a free kick, I think, given on halfway. Right, Reaper says, come on, get another. Jamal says, get in this for sure, says JMF. Go on, Melvin, we're back in it, says Prem Plus. And Humane Le, Leux, Le, I think, says crazy game. You have to say it like that. When you speak in French, you have to give it the full Le. Otherwise, yeah. So, yeah, crazy game is absolutely right. I'm not quite sure if you'd have said to me there'll be 5 goals in 45 minutes of the, in the first half. I think I might have laughed at you. But it has been a brilliant first half in terms of a neutral. Manchester United will feel an awful lot better about the first 45 minutes, I think, as we do get the half-time whistle. They'll feel an awful lot better about the 45, having scored to make it 3-2. They're well in this game, Aoife, aren't they?
Massively in this game. I think it's really, really disappointing or deflating when you feel like you've conceded goals, but as a team you've not, like you've been the better team. So to go from 3-1 and maybe in that head state as a player, to then all of a sudden Melvin gets that goal, hang on, we're in this, the game's wide open. So I think there will be some deflation and some frustration, but this game is wide open, and one thing that's really encouraging for me is the energy across the pitch from United. Simeo Wujo, standout player, Melvin Mallard, they're going to need to lean into that a little bit more with all the players in order to keep creating chances to be really dangerous. They need to take their chances, but I definitely believe they can win this game.
I wonder how many times Mark Skinner has changed his team talk over the course of the last 5 minutes. It must be at least twice.
Well, it has to be, doesn't it? When you're going in at 3-1, it's a lot different than that. Particularly when you score so close to half-time, it doesn't probably feel like you're a goal down. So, he's got... What he's going to say to him is keep that high energy. I think they've got to be better on the ball. That third goal came from, a blind pass, a sideways pass in midfield from Zigiotti back into Miyazawa. She didn't look up. They've picked the ball up and she scored a screamer, hasn't she? You can't say anything against that. However, they've got to be better at keeping the ball when they do have possession of the ball and they're defending third.
Right, time for us to go and get a cup of tea. Time for you to go and get a cup of tea as well. And whilst you're doing that, we're going to give you the opportunity to have a little nosy about behind the scenes at the PSG game last week.
Oh yeah, I can't tell you who
Hello everyone, welcome to our press conference ahead of Manchester United versus PSG tomorrow evening. We have Mark Skinner and Fridolina Rolfo with us.
Look, first off, let's talk about the game. How big is this game, but also the next week feels kind of almost pivotal for the season?
Yeah, look, I mean, for me, it's a huge week. We know that. But it's a historic moment we've been working towards. Like, I think you've seen us from our inception all the way through. So these are the moments we want to be around, People like Frido that are sat with me have come to this project because of games like this. PSG are very physical. They're very good technically, so we have to be prepared for both of those. Maybe we can exploit them, hopefully, tactically a little bit. So some adaptation there, but they're a very, very good team. And I think it's that different challenge.
Obviously, this is not just a huge game for the club, but it's a huge game in terms of attention because of the return of Mary Earps. From a personal point of view, what's that going to be like for her to come back? And also, obviously, look, we all know the noise around her, the criticisms around her, about what she said, what she's written. I just want your take on all that as well.
From my perspective, we move forward as a club. We always evolve, we always adapt, and we've got Fallon now. And I think to have Fallon is an incredible achievement for us to identify the talent and bring her in as well. So I hope Mary gets the credit that she deserves for the performance she gave to Manchester United, but also I understand she's an opponent this week. So as much as the love is around that, we must prepare to beat her and then obviously you can say your good things after the game.
Yeah, I hope we can give it our all. Like, we know how many good teams there are out there, so it's not going to be easy, definitely not. But it's also, you can see how tight it is. I think we can match every team. We can be on a top level if we perform on our best. So there's a chance to win it, definitely. I also know how hard it is, and it gets harder every year because the teams get better. So yeah, hopefully we're gonna get there, but it's gonna be hard.
Anyone? Done? Yeah, done. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We are gearing up for an historic night here at the Theatre of Dreams, and the big news is in that Fallon Talise-Joyce is out of this Champions League clash against PSG.
Wow! Look at the
Welcome back. I hope you are well rested and you've had a cup of tea over the course of 45 minutes. We've managed to grab a bottle of water and a bag of crisps each, and now we're back at it again. Actually, that's a lie. I'm sure that if it didn't have a bag of crisps, she's a finely tuned athlete. Finely tuned athlete. We've got both sides back out. Doesn't look like any changes. I wondered whether there might be an early change in this second half for Mark Skinner, but he's decided to go, I think, with the 11. I'll confirm that for you in a second. We're still looking at TV pictures. We think with the 11 that started the game. And that's obviously just him going, you have done enough to be leading in this game, and somehow you found yourself behind. So let's potentially tidy up some of the errors. Let's tidy up a little bit of the football. And we still have a really good chance of going on and winning this game, I think.
Yeah, I think United are still, for me, they've always felt in the driving seat of the game, and how they ended up coming in at half-time nearly 3-1 down is beyond me. Well, really, it's because Wolfsburg was so clinical in the box and outside the box. The shots were from outside the box. But really, the mantle is with United now. They've done enough in moments to be dominant in parts, but they need to have a little bit more quality and just keep that energy really high and really try and capitalise on some of the chances that they're creating. They have been good in parts.
I agree. I think the main point for me, what Wolfsburg has struggled to deal with, is that high energy and that high press, particularly from Mallard and Awuju. So I think obviously he wants to keep that, and getting that goal just before half-time, I think, yeah, the right thing is to do is to keep that same 11 on and give them another 10 minutes, see how it goes.
Welcome along if you are joining us just now for the second half. This is our watch-along for the Wolfsburg against Manchester United game. Wolfsburg leading by 3-2. Manchester United scoring just before the break to reduce the deficit to a single goal. The idea here, sorry, I'm watching the screen at the same time as trying to talk to you. The idea here is that we're your companion, we're your second screen. We want you to be watching the game and to have us along as well, to try and bring you a bit of insight, a little bit of detail maybe that you wouldn't get from elsewhere. So wherever you can watch the game, get that up on a big screen, then grab your phone or your tablet or your laptop or whatever and have us on the second screen. If you want to get involved in the chat, that is brilliant as well, because it gives us something to talk about, especially if you've got some questions that maybe our two professionals can answer. That would be absolutely brilliant. The way to do that, get subscribed to the Manchester United Women's YouTube channel, and then you can use the live chat. Whilst you're subscribing, just click the bell, and then you're notified for any content that drops during the week, including the post-match reaction to this game, which I can imagine is going to be interesting from Mark Skinner, especially if United are able to turn this round and potentially go on and win the game 4-3, 5-3. That would be absolutely fantastic, wouldn't it? Let's just see whether they're able to do that over the course of the next 90 minutes. So we're your companion, and we've got former Manchester United and current Republic of Ireland defender Aoife Mannion with us, and Lindsay Johnson as well, former England centre-half. Give her a full title, shall we?
Yeah, thank you.
Full title. We're calling her Jono, though, because otherwise she feels like she's getting told off. DJ Darkest Night has been in touch, says we have to remember, I am going to knock this board over at some stage tonight. It's going flying. I keep catching it with my mouth. We have to remember this is uncharted waters for United with what our League and Cup commitments domestically. It's going to be tough to compete on all levels everywhere. We spoke about this in the first half. I absolutely agree. It's quite a small squad for Manchester United. They're a really beautifully tight-knit group as well. They work so hard for one another, but when you have got games every 2 or 3 days at top-level competition, you've got City sandwiched in between PSG and Wolfsburg. It's a very, very difficult thing to do with a small squad, to keep everybody fresh, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a massively difficult ask to play that many games. Like, I was at United for 4 years, and it was a challenge that we never had to overcome at that time. So the girls are learning on the job. They're learning how to deal with that amount of games whilst they're actually in the games and really needed to get results. And for this team to be 3 wins from 3, I think they're sitting 3rd in the table. I mean, you can't ask for any more than that, really. They're doing so well, but the schedule is just gruesome,
grueling, all of those things together.
It's gruesome.
Even more difficult, that's a very clumsy challenge over on the far side on Simi Awujo, who is bundled to the floor. Referee is going to dish out the second yellow card of the game, and well deserved for Pedamors. 2 goals and a yellow card. She's got to catch them all today. It's going to get even more gruesome. What did you say? Grueling.
We'll go
Gruesome. It was
I
something.
don't know
it was
what I
something
said, but
along
it was
those
wrong.
lines.
Whatever I said, it was wrong.
Because you've still got Conti Cup to start, you've still got FA Cup to start as well as the WSL this season. The games are just going to ramp up and up and up. And if they manage to qualify, which is currently looking very positive for Manchester United, you've still got the knockout phases of the Champions League as well, as Rolfo goes up and looks to challenge inside the penalty area, well claimed by the Wolfsburg keeper, Johannes. Yeah, that's where it starts to get really sticky. And I wonder whether, and we were speaking to Matt Johnson on episode 2 of the Inside Carrington podcast. If you haven't listened to that, by the way, I can heartily recommend it. It's got some lovely people on it, including Helen Evans and Phil Jones and some fella called Liam. If you would like to listen to that, it's available. Matt Johnson, director of women's football, was on that, and he kind of was saying to us, that's a real effort, it's just wide from Wolfsburg. I think Safia Middleton-Patel had that covered off, and Berenstain has a head in her hands watching it flash past the post. He was saying that the winter window is one that they might think about dipping into when it gets there, depending on, several things, including who's available, whether or not it's good value for money, whether or not the money is available for Manchester United's women. So we'll just have to wait and see whether United do decide that some extra bodies is the right thing to do. Would you go shopping in the window if you were Manchester United?
Always go shopping. I think, if you've got the money, you should always go shopping. But I think it's everybody's talking about it. United's squad is not as big. We just saw Tooney with a shot. Long
Tooney
range.
from 30 yards. Anything could happen, couldn't it?
Yeah. You need to bolster your squad, because if you want to fight and be competitive in the WSL, Champions League, FA Cup, the Continental Cup, the League Cup, then you've got to have a bigger squad than what United have. United have quality players, some world-class players in that squad, but it needs to be bigger.
I think we've got Melvin Mallard down here. And we've also got a Wolfsburg player down as well. Just having a look at what happened. Mallard sort of steps away from one challenge, and then as she passes the ball, he's caught very late.
Is that
very
Pop?
Late? That's Alexandra Pop, who has... The ball is long gone. That's very naughty, isn't it?
Yeah. And that... She's not on a yellow, is she, Pop? Because she had the initial... foul in the first couple of minutes.
Should be on a yellow, but isn't.
And then she had another couple, one on Hinata Miyazawa, two on Hinata Miyazawa. And she's known for putting herself about a bit, but if the ref doesn't rein her in, she can do that all night.
And I wonder as well with Alex Pop, she was on the receiving end of a little bit of physicality, like just after the second half kicked off, and I wonder if she was just saying, here you go, like if you're going to lay it on me, I can give it back. And I think that the United girls now are going to need to match that. If the referee is not going to be given that and she's not going to be given a yellow, then yeah, it's part of the game. They have to do it.
Well, I wonder whether if you sort of get yourself into a position where you're leading again, you bring on somebody like Rachel Williams just to help you get over the line, and you just say to Rachel...
She's very small though, Rach. We're very tiny.
Yeah. Shy and retiring.
Yeah. Not sure she's what's needed for a physical game.
It would be interesting. There's a couple in there actually that would actually raise the physicality if that was required. Alexandra Pop is down inside the D, and we're just going to wait and see what's happening here. We've got the physios on. Game has had a very staccato resumption after the break. It's been a bit stop-start since the second half started. We still haven't seen exactly what's happened. Did you catch it?
With Pop?
Yeah.
No, I didn't catch it. It was off camera, I think.
Wait and see with the replay, which we still haven't had. Look at these die-hard Manchester United fans. We're getting some shots of them in the freezing cold in Germany. Pop is down and just getting a little bit of treatment to that right knee. Wait and see exactly what's going on there. Right, okay. If you want to get involved, we would love to hear from you. Make sure you are subscribed to the Manchester United Women's YouTube channel, then you can get involved in the live chat. Meg says, Aoife, what's it like watching your former team bossing it like they are this season? Are you super proud?
I am, and I said it last week. I get to feel by doing these watch-alongs that I'm still part of it. Like I'm still part of the extended family. And obviously in football you could play with a team for years and then one day you click your fingers and you don't really see them again. But actually coming along to this and doing a bit of commentary and chatting along and cheering on the girls, it's felt like a nice, sweet treat. That's what it's felt like. And to see them win all these games in Europe, which I never got the chance to be part of, I absolutely love it, and I feel so lucky to be part of it. And long may it continue.
You've played for a couple of clubs across your career. So have you, John. Is there an affinity to Manchester United maybe that you don't get from elsewhere? Is there something special about playing for this football club?
I mean,
it's hard for her to answer, surely. And she's
No, I've put her right on the spot.
I've been lucky enough to whatever teams I've played for, I've really always felt the love from players and from fans. I've been really lucky. I've always been part of teams of really nice girls, really nice fans. As a blue nose, like first and foremost, I'm a Birmingham City fan. There's always that, but apart from that, I don't know if there's many things that can beat United. It's just, it's somewhere where when you go there, you just can feel that passion, and that's why I come back here and kind of try and watch along and support the girls, because it was intense and it was such a roller coaster, but I did love it, and I feel very lucky to have been a part of it.
Yeah, I feel exactly the same, and I only play a tiny part at this football club. United trailing by 3-2 here, but they have been better at the start of this second half in terms of using the ball to the best of their ability. It's been a bit stop-start with injuries and various bits, but I still think that there is the opportunity for either of these teams to go on and win the game. So we shall wait and see who it is that steps out of this midfield attritional battle at the moment and manages to take a positive step forward. Ella Toon penalised for a foul in midfield here. Yeah, I think that's probably just about the right decision. Working very hard to try and win that back from Huth. As I say, just make sure you're subscribed and send us some questions, because it would be great to hear from you as we go through the game. Alex Popp is really struggling with that right knee. She's down again. I wonder whether this might well be Alex Popp's race run. We still haven't seen how she did it, have we?
No, I don't think we have, unless, she's done it in that collision. Well, I say collision, that foul on Mallard, which, the referee didn't think it was a foul really, but and whether it's come from that. But I think she's got to come off now. She's not going to carry on there, which isn't a bad thing for United. But I think Berenstein, the player who scored their third goal, she's starting to really come into the game. She's looking lively. I think that third goal for her has given her confidence. And I've played against her back in the day and when she was a younger player, and she is quick. And I mean quick, she's lightning quick. So you don't want her to get in behind as well. So it's just about keeping those players quiet, and obviously getting the ball further up the pitch. At the moment, it's really just bitty stop-start. The game's just come to a sort of, standstill at the moment. But
Pops off, and now it is Latvine that will come on to replace her. So, I think I think that's a bit of a shame for Alex Popp, obviously, but Manchester United will probably look at that and go, yeah, that's one less physical outlet that we have to deal with over the next 35, 40 minutes. She is struggling on that right knee ever so slightly. And
she's the leader as well, isn't she? She's the player who they'll look to score the goals if they need it. And for United, that's only a good thing that she's coming off.
Lyon have got one back against Juventus. 3-1 in that game as this ball's put into the penalty area, headed away. It's a name that will send shivers down the spine of Lindsay Johnson as well. It is Chawinga that has managed to get one back. That was the player that caused Manchester United so many problems back in 2023 against PSG.
Talk about pace. She has frightening pace, but she's clinical as well. She could score goals.
Yeah. and has scored one on the hour mark for Liam. So let's wait and see whether that comes to anything or whether in Turin the old lady can hang on. Meanwhile, United having to do a little bit more defensive work in the opening stages of this second half, but this sort of fits a pattern that we've seen in these Champions League games where United have to ride out spells and then all of a sudden they'll find 15 or 20 minutes where they can really put their foot down, and that's where, you know, Mark Skinner's going to be looking at trying to use the substitutes that he has available to try and finish the game in a really positive manner.
Yeah, I would agree with that, Liam, and it's been really pleasing for me as a fan to watch United playing games where the first 10 minutes of the first half and the second half, it can be really bitty, it can be really end-to-end. It can be hard for United to find a flowing rhythm. I'm frowning here because
it's not a free kick.
A foul's just been given against United, against Simi, that really isn't one. But yeah, point in case, really bitty moments just after just into the second half, and I think overall United have done really well to manage that, then bring on substitutions and it changes the flow of the game.
Jess Park available, of course, Elizabeth Turland on the bench, Leah Galton too, amongst others. I wonder whether we might see some changes in the next 10 minutes for Mark Skinner and for Manchester United. They've got to defend this free kick that shouldn't have been a free kick first though, and that would be the ultimate injustice, wouldn't it? If something was to come of this for Wolfsburg, the referee's having a conversation inside the penalty area, just trying to calm everything down. Krishna says, love the physicality here. They've stepped up, win or lose. I'm behind them all the way. So are we, Krishna, so are we. So let's wait and see what happens with the corner. Oh, it's flashed in, it's just wide. Wow, I thought that was going to end up in the back of the net. It isn't, it's wide. It's Beerenstein again, who's managed to get ahead to it. Has that been blocked behind? Oh, it's a save. It's a brilliant save from Safia Middleton-Patel. That's brilliant.
It was a really strong hand, wasn't it? And it come to her so quickly as well. She had to get down nice and quick. Got a strong hand to her. That'll give a lot of confidence. That it was a really good save. But to be the bearer of bad news, Beerenstein was unmarked in the box. There was no player near her and she had a free head on goal.
Here's the delivery from the corner, missed by everybody. United should be able to get this away and out of the penalty area. Tracy says, get Galton on for the physicality she offers, and Jess Park too. They would be two really positive changes, wouldn't they? That's a pair of attackers, and fans, me included, sometimes call for all of the big guns onto the field at the same time, and to hell with the defending. But actually, it's important to, whatever change you make, it remains balanced. This is the save from Safia Middleton-Patel. Done a very, very good job to get a hand to that and turn it away. Beerenstein pretty certain that she'd got that one on target. Lovely work from Awujo again. She's been really busy, hasn't she, Simi Awujo, over the game in terms of giving Manchester United an outlet, John?
An outlet, and she's once they've, she's making sure, and on cue, here we go, the subs. But with Awujo, she's got all the energy, but she's an outlet, but she's really pushing that high press as well. She's the catalyst. Hopefully they're keeping her on.
Fridolina Rolfo is making way to be replaced by Leah Galton, and Jess Park is coming onto the field for Manchester United as well, almost like somebody in the chat called for it and manifested that into its existence as well. So Jess Park and Leah Galton onto the field. It was Ella Toon that made way for Jess Park. Well, we know how good Jess Park has been this season. I was saying before the Manchester City game that she has already got 4 goals in 12 for Manchester United. Her best ever scoring season was for City last year, where she picked up 8 goals all season long. Has a real opportunity now to push on and become a crucial part of this Manchester United side's identity.
She has been such a good signing for United, and I mean, we knew she was a good player, but when she played at City, I really respected her and what she could bring. But since she's come to United, just watching her.
Beerenstein has scored, wriggles through. Nobody gets a challenge in, unfortunately. Manages to get the footwork going right and left, and then rolls it into the bottom left-hand corner. 4-2. Now United will be looking at it and going, right, we've got to try and get a grip of this, because Berenstain just manages to roll off Dominique Janssen, drives into the penalty area. Maya Letizier's got to back off, and as she does so, it just creates some space, and it's rolled into the bottom left-hand corner.
I think it actually goes through Maya's feet in the end. It's such a good finish, and it feels like for Berenstain, like for Wolfsburg, it's a one-man band. Almost everything good that seems to be coming for them has come through this player, and we'd almost mentioned it a few moments ago on the free kick where she was left unmarked, and again she had a really good chance. And I think, like you say, Liam, United will want to get a grip on this, and certainly a big way to do that is they need to deal with her.
She's a difficult player to play against, particularly when she's on a high. She scored that world of a goal in the first half, but for me, Janssen's an experienced player, and like you say, Liam, she was rolled. And Maya's she's had to drop off to cover Janssen, but then once you're that last man in the goalkeeper's foot, I think Letizier's got to engage a little bit quicker than that. It's really easy saying here and saying it from the couch, but you've got to do that. It's 4-2 at the moment, and there's still plenty of time, and there's goals in this game for United as well. So, but yeah, Berenstain, they've got to do something about her. They've got to pick her up and lock her on, and make go in a little bit harder and let her know that you're there as well. That old school defending sometimes doesn't go amiss sometimes.
Safia Middleton-Patel gets her foot to it too. Just the finish is so good that she just can't extend the right foot out enough to get enough toe on it to turn it away, and it ends up in the bottom left-hand corner as we're looking at the goal. Berenstain now hobbling around as well, so it would be a bit of a disaster for Wolfsburg if there was an issue there.
This is a totally different Wolfsburg side in terms of energy and intensity that played Lyon last week. They were absolutely dreadful against Lyon. They lost 3-1, but it very easily could have been 6-1. They only registered 2 shots in the whole game, and it's so annoying actually that they've turned out tonight with so much energy and have just been so clinical.
It's like 4 shots on target, haven't they? And they've scored all 4 goals. Let's just double check that. 5 shots on target for Wolfsburg, and they've scored from 4 of them. That return is absolutely incredible. Just so you're aware that they're outperforming their XG by 3 goals. So their XG in the game is 1, and they've scored 4. And that kind of should give you an idea of how the game has gone for Manchester United. And Wolfsburg, it's almost like every shot they hit is somehow magicked itself into the back of the net. And if you're Manchester United, you're looking at your 4 shots on target, and you've got 2 back from that, thinking you're doing brilliantly to outperform your XG, and you've got a side that you're playing that have done something even more incredible.
Yeah, and you've scored 2 goals away from goal, which away from home, which is always something like that you look to do. However, you'll be disappointed how many shots you have had on goal. I'm not sure how many that is, Liam, but I don't think it's that many.
11 for Wolfsburg and 5 for United.
Yeah, so they're not creating enough opportunities in that area, in that attacking area tonight, and that's what they'll want to do in this last third of the game. They need to create those opportunities, try and get something from this game.
Silver linings for that is that United have had 4 shots on target from 5 total shots. So when they are creating opportunities, they are good opportunities that they're creating. They just need to try and find a way to really put the Wolfsburg goal under a little bit more pressure than they've managed, certainly in this second half. If you want to get involved in the conversation, we would love to hear from you. Make sure you're subscribed to the Manchester United Women's YouTube channel, and then you can send us a message. The more positive, the better. Let's try and find a way of getting Manchester United back into the game. What is it that you would do if you were Mark Skinner? Would you make any further changes? Would you tactically tweak something? Just give us a shout in the chat and let us know. Simi Awujo does brilliantly again. He's pulled to the ground, and that is a free kick to United in the middle of the Wolfsburg half. She's been a real bright spot for Manchester United over the game, hasn't she, Jono?
Yeah, she really has, and what I really like about her, she uses her body really well, and then she's so strong to just hold the players off. I think unfortunate that I think the referee hasn't really protected Manchester United tonight. She could have definitely give out a couple more yellows to put a warning out to this Wolfsburg side. But I really enjoyed Simi Awuju's performance against PSG. I thought she was, fantastic in that midfield area, and she's carried on tonight. So you've got to look at positives of people's performance as well, and she's been one of the best players for United.
Safia Middleton-Patel's going to clear this one away. Just started one of those mazy runs off the right-hand side, but just taken away from her. Melvin Mallard's brought the ball down. It's the free kick, and there's been a lot of that sort of tactical fouling in midfield from Wolfsburg over the course of the game that it can be so frustrating as a fan watching the game, and I can only imagine how frustrating it is as a player as well, Aoife.
I mean, it's one of those things, when you're on the receiving end of it, it's really frustrating, but if that's your team doing it, we call it game management, and it's seen as really intelligent play. And clearly Wolfsburg are showing their experience. They're trying their best not to let the creative United players like Jess Park just coming onto the field. They're trying their best not to let players like that get into any flow and rhythm in terms of dribbling. Immediately they're on the player, and they're taking the foul and kind of taking the risk that comes with that. And I think it's probably paid off for them in the way that they've hoped it to.
Ball down the line from Leah Galton just goes a little wide for Sandberg, and she has to concentrate on keeping the ball in play, but Galton's managed to get there, and she's done brilliantly. She won a side a corner? No. Referee decides that that's come back off Leah Galton and will be a goal kick, but that's actually where United can make it work. Leah Galton's such a powerful runner, has such good ability to carry the ball. They need to try and find a way of getting her into the game a little more than we've seen since she's come onto the pitch. We've got a change here. Cora Zikai onto the field. Again, it's Wolfsburg just trying to solidify things slightly, I think, Aoife.
Yeah, I think so. I think at this point in the match, Wolfsburg will probably be quite happy with the scoreline. They'll be quite happy to try and protect the lead that they've got. And I was thinking this would be the perfect time for a vintage Leah Galton performance. I mean, if she can get into some of the flow and form that we know from her over the years, getting on the end of crosses, pushing and dribbling past players, that would be brilliant. And as we're watching now, it looks to me like Saf is down, but it looks like a sort of tactical
timeout.
A tactical timeout. Going back to what I said of when it's on your team, it feels like game management. So we like it in this case, but certainly from Wolfsburg point of view, well, it won't be seen as time wasting because they're probably quite happy to run down the clock. But you can see the girls coming in now and just listening to what all the coaches have to say. They're really going to have a big push for this, and I think there's still goals in this game. So I think we can anticipate a big boost of energy now from United in these last closing portions of the game.
I would love, a typical Manchester United finish where, trailing by 2 goals, somehow managed to pull it back out of the fire.
It's important that, United need to get this next goal, don't they? They need the next goal, and they're back to where they were just at half-time, 1 goal in it.
Mark Skinner sits down, and we are not far away from resuming. Safia Middleton-Patel looks to be absolutely fine, so no concerns around the goalkeeper, just obviously an opportunity for United to get some instructions onto the field, which they've done. What's really interesting about that is it's not just a coach that goes and does that. It was the whole team of coaches that went out, and it was, you've got Scott Rogers and Mark Skinner, and they're all sort of there and having those conversations as Zighiotti scampers free down the right-hand side, can try and get to the byline, win aside a corner, and that's exactly what the doctor ordered, an opportunity for United to keep the pressure on inside the penalty area.
Yeah, really good for dribbling down the wing from Zighiotti there, and we're just looking as the board comes up, and it seems like United are about to make another 2 subs with Gabby and Rach.
Yeah, Gabby George on for Anna Sandberg, and Simi Awuju, who has put a real shift in for Manchester United, bring a real bright spot from this game, leaves the field to be replaced by Rachel Williams. This would be a great time for a Rachel Williams back post header, wouldn't it? Here's the ball into the box. Heads go up, but it's cleared away by Wolfsburg. What can we expect from these two changes? Gabby George obviously is fresh legs for Anna Sandberg. They'll serve a pretty similar role, I would have thought. And Rachel Williams is there for just trying to fashion an opportunity, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. With Rachel Williams, you'll see someone that's really honest and physical in their work rate and can really create chances out of nothing, and a brilliant player to have in the box when you're putting crosses in. So I think Rach, even though she's not playing as a striker, will see her higher up the pitch. That will leave gaps for United, and that's why I think Gabby George will balance that really well with her defensive capabilities and also some fresh legs as a left back.
And it's what Rach brings as well, is that experienced player, the energy, and she just drags the team with her. She's so good at doing that high press. How old is she now? 36?
I don't want to add an extra year.
Neither do I.
No.
I think she's 37.
Right, so I'll be in a good books because I said 36. Yeah. But for an experienced player, she'll drag that team with her, and she will bring that physicality. Of course she will. But she can score goals. And what United need now is a Rach Williams goal.
37. Just for absolute clarity. Is staying quite high, Rach, as well, and this will be a pre-thought through thing from Mark Skinner. He will not want her to drop inside the Manchester United half unless it's for set piece defending, really, because he's going to want her to try and stretch the game as much as she physically can and try and give United that out ball. If they can get it to her and make it stick, then United have a chance of finding the runners off the back of that. So we shall wait and see whether or not Manchester United can actually make that happen.
I think United as well needs Hinata Miyazawa, who, when they're building play and they're building from the back, it always goes through Miyazawa. And in this second half, because it's been so bitty and Wolfsburg have been good at breaking up play, then they've lost that momentum, haven't they, United, a little bit. Just need to get her on the ball.
Best bit of football of the night from Wolfsburg. They've worked that brilliantly down the left-hand side, and Berenstein's into the penalty area. Looks to try and get by Dominique Janssen. It's a lovely tackle that goes in and knocks it behind. It's great football. 1 and 2 touch down the left-hand side, little triangles, gets past the tackles that come in. It's really well done.
Yeah, and she's definitely been the player of the night for Wolfsburg. I think what's so difficult as a defender when you're defending against Berenstein, dribbling down at your throat, is that she can dribble with a right foot but then cut onto a left foot and take a shot or take a cross. So you're not quite sure which way to show her because she's so sharp and agile and she can go both ways. And to be fair, Dom Janssen does really well there to put in the tackle.
Looking to get themselves onto the penalty area. It bends out of the box. Tim Patel comes and punches, gets something on it, ends up at the feet of Zikai, who has another go. It's gone behind. United just need to be a little bit careful that they're not getting themselves penned in here by Wolfsburg. They need to try and find a way out because, trailing by 4-2, they've got to try and find a way to play the football that we've seen them play over the course of this game, John.
Yeah, of course, and I think that's what I was alluding to before. They need to get possession of the ball, get Miyazawa on it, so they can build that play. They've got players on the pitch. Galton, she can stretch it. We'd love to see one of Galton's running that left-hand side. Dribble it forward, get her legs running down that left-hand side, and get a good delivery into the box for the likes of Rach Williams to get on the end of it.
It's a much firmer punch from Safia Middleton-Patel. Sends it 30 yards out of the penalty area, and then the free kick goes United's way.
And of course the other way to get momentum in the meantime, if you're not able to do it the pretty way by playing out from the back, finding Hinny, is just making sure that your clearances are really clearing your lines and really taking it away from the dangerous areas. And I've just felt at times that when United watch this back, they'll be wishing that they were able to clear their lines with slightly more quality, and that's what Saf did really well there. Really strong punch, and all of a sudden it gets you that extra 10 or 15 yards of territory. Fast forward 10 seconds and here United are on the ball with Gabby further up the pitch, and it looks like they're in a position to start dominating the ball and create a chance, but that comes from clearing your lines properly.
Direct football 101, wasn't it? Out from out from the back by Safia Middleton-Patel, brought down on the chest of Rachel Williams and then picked up. It was exactly what you want it to be. Offside flag does go up, as Aoife pointed out, a long way offside.
And what Wolfsburg are doing to stop United from playing out and having possession of the ball, they have that high press now. Zerke, I think she's a young forward and she's got loads of energy. So with her and Berenstein up front, they're really putting that pressure on the back line, stopping Laetitia and Janssen getting on the ball, which is making it difficult. But like Aoife, if it's not on, sometimes miss that press out and look for those spaces in the wide areas and the flanks.
Rachel Williams finds Jess Park. Park looks for Mallard in the area. Press again from United, this time forcing the error out of Wolfsburg, and that's where United can really make the most of their opportunities as the ball is into the penalty area. Just not quite enough quality on the ball into the box to really cause them problems. But if they can get themselves in and around the area, I've just been told that Juventus have been pegged back again, 3-2. Juventus lead Lyon. It was 3-0 at the break. Lyon have come out in the second half looking to try and find a way through. Those two sides, the two sides that United have yet to play in the Champions League in their final two games. Ball is looping around inside the Wolfsburg half. Galton does well. Needs a moment, doesn't it? The game needs a moment here that give Manchester United the momentum back, really.
Yeah, and it could be scrappy, couldn't it? Because at 4-2, if you're the team that's chasing, then your technique sometimes and your execution can be a little bit off because you're chasing the game.
Overload all over the front line from Wolfsburg. It was a 3-on-2 for a long period of time. Eventually, the ball is knocked behind. Should be a goal kick. It is a goal kick. There was a moment there that didn't look entirely brilliant.
I think that was possibly one of Wolfsburg's clearest chances of the game, and I think if that was maybe Berenstein on the end of that cross across the face of the box and not the young player 28 Zakai, that could have been a goal. So United will be happy there that it didn't go in the net. And what's a shame is, like, just before that, Jess Park was on the ball, dribbling, she had a nice combination with Leah. So it's kind of, you want one, but they're not. The transition on the other side of it, it's kind of like the risk and reward.
And you're right. And at the moment, United have got to take that risk.
How is that not a foul?
I don't think the ref has been, one of the best refs that we've seen in this Champions League. I think she's let a lot go and not protected either team, to be honest, but United have come off worse with this ref.
So Ziggiotti hurdles a challenge in midfield, is brought to the ground, and by being brought to the ground, is then prevented from getting to the loose ball that was right in front of her. Aoife's, are you?
No, I'm cringing. I'm absolutely agreeing with you. I'm cringing, and I think what's so infuriating as a player is, in the moment when you're playing, there's actually nothing you can do now. You almost have to accept the referee and their behaviours as a given and just assume that things aren't going to go how you want. But it's so hard to cool your emotions and not get sucked in.
Lisa Nalsund onto the field to replace Hinata Miyazawa. Now, what Lisa Nalsund brings is running ability. She will stretch and stretch and stretch the play. Sometimes can explode a game, Lisa Nalsund, to the point that her teammates can't keep up with her. That's the ability that she has running wise. This is loose inside the box. There was a chance there for a moment for Maya Letitia, just evaded her and is cleared. United will feel that maybe if they can just get one, then we're in for a really nervy finish.
It was a really good header from Gabby George. I think knocked it down in the area, and if it was anywhere near a United player, then they would have had a free shot on goal as well. So it could be just something scrappy, just to get that goal back, just to get them that one goal nearer. They've still got the time to do it.
And you've said it as well a couple of times, Jono, through the game, is this Wolfsburg back line, they don't look absolutely exceptional. And if a quality ball is put into the box, they don't always clear their lines well.
That is a decent ball into the penalty area. Gabby George giving away the free kick on the edge of the box. Standing her ground, maybe, that is a bit of a body check, but...
Yeah, it's Huth. I think she does make the most of it, though, doesn't she, a little bit, Huth? But yeah, Gabby does take her out a little bit.
It's hearty. It was a hearty contact.
But to go back to the ref, I'm sorry, because I know we you can't change the ref, but that foul in the midfield area where the referee allowed it to happen, that was Pedamore's, and she's already on a yellow. And she's allowing it. If anything, even if we're not saying you're going to send a player off, if anything, it slows the play down, it breaks it up, it stops any momentum that United can have, and like you say, it's good gameplay from Wolfsburg, but is it crossing the line a little bit? Stops that sort of beautiful game?
Yeah, maybe. But, game management, as Aoife was touching on, once you've got yourself into a lead and you've got a 2-goal cushion, then you've sort of earned the right, haven't you, to be as difficult to play against as you can possibly be. Still think, as I felt all the way through this second half, that there are goals in this for United, because Wolfsburg don't look entirely at it defensively. It's just that in the midfield, they've managed to turn the ball over in good areas that have caused Manchester United, or forced Manchester United backwards.
And they've been clinical, haven't they? Their forward players have been clinical, but they've been a threat throughout the game. Beerenstein, obviously a threat throughout the game, got a couple of goals. And I think the young forward, Zerke, who they've brought on, is a handful. She's good at pressing the ball. So we'd say that attack and offensive play from Wolfsburg has been better as the game got on.
9 points Manchester United have in the Champions League so far this season. It's likely that 9 points will be there or thereabouts to get you qualified. They could probably do, just for safety's sake, with an extra point. If that doesn't come tonight, they've got to try and find that point against either Lyon, which feels unlikely given how good Lyon are, although saying that Juventus still lead 3-2 there, or against Juventus, and that starts to feel what you don't want is a situation where you're going into the final game of the group phase needing something out of the game. You'd much rather have it wrapped up before then. I just don't know when that would come for United. Is 9 going to be? It's almost enough now, isn't it?
I mean, they're in a really, really good position, and going into the league stages, if you'd told them, it's going to be cut and dry after 4 matches and you're going to be through, they would never have necessarily thought that was going to be the case. This team would always have known that they were going to have to fight in every game, and look, if that's one extra game just to 100% get themselves over the line, then that is nothing more than what this team is used to. And if anything, United probably play better when they are the ones that are chasing and they know that they need to go out and get a result. So I don't think that sets them up in a terrible position. And before tonight, they've been absolutely pitch perfect.
Wolfsburg have just found out what it's like to run into Rachel Williams in midfield, by the way. That was the resistible force meeting the immovable object. 3 changes coming for Wolfsburg. United not going to allow that to happen too quickly. Ball is out of play again. I think we'll probably have those changes now. Yeah, we are going to have those changes. So, first of those isn't on my list, which is great. I've got the official UEFA team sheet in front of me. There is no 39 on the official UEFA team sheet. That's good, isn't it? Oh, Linda's gone off. 39, Linda is off. I'll bring you those substitutes in a second. I've got myself all carried away. There's 3 changes for Wolfsburg, essentially, as they look to just keep hold of this 2-goal cushion. 90th minute. So
they're defensive changes, aren't they? Predictably defensive changes. And I wonder if Wolfsburg might sit into something that looks like a back 5 for the last few minutes, just soak the pressure up.
Juventus 3, Lyon 3.
Oof.
A penalty in the last minute to make it 3 apiece. So we'll come back from Lyon that after being 3-0 down at half time. 3-0 down after 37 minutes.
But you know what? That's United's next game, and that it just shows that they can concede and you can score against them. We've still got time left in this game, but as soon as this game finishes, that's what they'll be thinking about the next game.
Offside against Zigliotti, which is the right decision. Just feel that time might just be against Manchester United now. Even at 82, 83, 84 minutes, you felt that if United could get one, there was a grandstand finish on the cards. But Wolfsburg have managed it really well, to give them credit.
I think this game they've not allowed United time on the ball, have they? They've not given them the time to build or have momentum. They've used a lot of gameplay, haven't they? But they've played well. Their attacking players have looked a real threat.
Well, a little bit of confusion again there between Safia Middleton-Patel and Dominique Janssen. Safia's come an awfully long way and sort of leaves Dominique Janssen in a position of not knowing exactly what to do. It is effectively defended by United in the end. Just a little unorthodox, as that is laser beamed into Leah Galton's face from about 2 yards. Yeah, that'll be just a moment for Leah Galton. They can be sore. Oh yeah, didn't even see it coming.
Didn't need the slow-mo, did we?
Just didn't see it coming. Leah Galton, she
No.
just absolutely lasered at her from really close range.
Whipped in, so close range as well. And it's not just the impact on your face, it's the sort of whiplash that you get when you take that force on your neck as well.
Sometimes those ones on the side as well, like you say, it just kind of shunts your neck a little bit. The ones that look worse, dead on, are actually sometimes easier to take. So I just wonder if they're just checking her neck to just make sure that she's okay and she feels balanced.
I don't know whether I can convey this to you. These are unbelievably, I promise you that this isn't pumped up as much as it should be. They're amazingly hard. What's that? 1 bar inside that. Catch that to your face, it's going to hurt, isn't it?
Yeah, that feels...
Oh, yeah.
I kind of need to kick it.
I'll let you kick
Hang
it on
on.
my face if you like.
Yeah. I thought you were going to do a demo on me. I'll hold my face to the side.
It's just, this is the official Champions League ball. I'm going to try and put that back. It wouldn't stay when I was trying to do this before, and we could end up spending hours of me walking away. It's not straight, and I'll get shouted at. But they're rock solid, and maybe things that you don't understand as a fan when you don't get the opportunity to feel that. They're pumped up to the max. They hurt. They're hard, and the pitches are also. You don't realise how hard the pitches are when you play on those as well. You think, oh yeah, it's grass, it'll be like playing Sunday League football. Not at all. They're rock solid, the pitches that you play on too. Like playing on concrete sometimes. Leah Galton is still getting some treatment. She's copped it. Oh, the ball's off. It's going. No, stay in. We don't need the goal line technology to tell us that that's just about staying on the table. Wolfsburg in possession, and again just trying to work their way forward. It's a good tackle from Maya Letitia, but again time going against United. We've got 8 minutes of time added on at the end of this one. Jade Riviere looking to escape. Wolfsburg, the one thing that you can say about them is they have been remarkably quick. Their recovery running has been exceptional all night, Eve.
Yeah, their recovery running, like you say, and their work rate has been so high. There was a few moments right at the start of the first half where I felt like they weren't really pressing out to the fullbacks, but then after that, any time a United player has had the ball or even competed for one, they've been all over it. And I think if there's one thing that has propelled them forward to get those goals, despite the fact, that was a really good chance.
It's come all the way through to Gabby George on the edge of the 6-yard box. I just don't think she thinks that it's going to make it that far. She made a brilliant run. She gets in behind. She just can't cushion it on target.
Yeah, it comes in. She just can't get her right foot around it enough to sort of cushion it just into the path of the goal.
She needs to direct it back the other way across goal, and instead she plays the way she's facing, which is the wrong side of the
You can have a look at this right now as the ball comes through. She makes a brilliant run through the middle. and just can't quite apply the finish. That's been given as a foul against Melvin Mallard. That one feels a little on the soft side too. Let's have a little look. Oh, dearie me. Has she caught the... Is there a tangle of legs there?
Yeah.
Is that what's happened?
Yeah.
An accidental trip.
Because they're both using their arms against each other in that race, aren't they? A little bit 50-50, but as Mallard tries to go around the back of her to get to the other side, that's where the ball's dropped. She just clips her back heel, I think.
Full time in Turin, 3 apiece there, so Lyon have dropped points. A bit later on, Arsenal against Real Madrid, Paris against Benfica, and Vålerenga against St Polten.
So it's just United, Lyon and Barcelona who had 3 straight wins and full points at the start of this match day 4.
And 2 of those 3 have now dropped points. If this stays the way that it currently is. It's not going to stay the way that it currently is because Manchester United have conceded a 5th. It's another goal that is potentially avoidable for Manchester United, trying to play out from the back, trying to work it forward, and the mistake capitalised on. Take another look at it here. Yeah, it's the defending here from Jade Riviere. Riviere looking to get it away, and the back pass has just got not quite enough on it.
Well, you know what I'm going to say, Anna, as a defender. She doesn't look, she plays a blind pass. Obviously, there's not enough on it. It's exactly what happened to me when I played Wolfsburg, and I laid it back to Pop, who's on my back shoulder, and it's an awful feeling. She's not put enough on it, but she's played the blind pass, and you just can't do this. You've always got to think that there's a player running on your back shoulder. It's really unfortunate for Riviere, and I don't think United deserve to be 5-2 down at all in this game, but that's the playing at this highest level when you've got teams like Wolfsburg who are experienced and have managed this game really well.
Enderman with the goal, and just quickest over the turf to get to the loose back pass. Jade Riviere, it's very uncharacteristic for her. She's normally brilliant in those situations and just get caught out, don't you, every now and then. Runs into the contact and the pass comes back and it's just not got enough on it to get it back to Safia Middleton Patel. He's into the penalty area for United. A weak-ish punch away, finds Nalsund. One last foray forward as Jess Park chases this to the byline. Looks to cross it in. Whether or not that stayed in, I don't know. And then Ziggiotti thumps a right foot effort into the penalty area, drags it wide of the upright. And sometimes it's just not your night.
That was just such a sucker punch there for United, and just before that I thought Jade had done so well to kind of come round and cover and sweep up, and as it was playing I was thinking, yeah, you know what, she's been really good tonight. She's given a lot going forward and this defensive work, and then as the play unfolded, as a defender who has done that over my career, it's just something that you just don't want to see. It's really disappointing, and at this level, unfortunately, any little slip up, you really do get punished, and especially against a team like Wolfsburg.
Fine lines, fine margins. Manchester United, unfortunately, on the receiving end after an error. It's a foul. It's not going to matter because we are now in the added time. At the end of added time, Wolfsburg will look at this and think they've wildly overperformed their expected goals, for example, but they've been clinical whenever there's been an opportunity in and around the penalty area. Lisa Nalsund, no, it's going to be turned away, takes it on, but it's well blocked. But they've taken every opportunity that's come their way.
Yeah, they have, and the goals that they've scored, those first 3 in particular, there was some really good goals, but they came from United mistakes, which, like you say, it's really fine margins, and it's very uncharacteristic of this Manchester United side to concede goals, and they've conceded 5 tonight, and we're just not used to seeing that from United. So, but you've got to give credit to Wolfsburg that they have been clinical in front of goal and scored, particularly 2 really good goals as well. The Berenstein one and that first one from Pedamors as well. Really good finishes by both of those players. No keeper's keeping either of those 2 out.
The other thing to just sort of throw into the mix is that when you go 3-1 down, you're chasing the game, you roll the dice, don't you? Because you're as well losing 5-2 as you are losing 3-1. You might as well go for it, and that's probably left United a little bit more open than they would be normally.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think the team were right to roll the dice. They're right to try and be more direct and play in the spaces and commit players forward, and the risk of that is always what happens then on transition when you lose the ball. And usually you don't play against a team as efficient and as clinical as Wolfsburg, so you can get away with little bits here and there, but that's just not been the case tonight. Wolfsburg have capitalised on every little sniff that they've had, and very rarely do you watch a team that's that clinical, but that's exactly what they've been tonight.
We are having some treatment for Berenstain. I mean, we are so far past the 8 minutes added on now. I don't really understand why the referee doesn't just blow the whistle and call time on it, but we are going to have to get the game back underway before she will blow the full-time whistle. So we're going to have to wait for Berenstain to get back on her feet before we can finish the game, which just seems a little daft, really. I think some of the players feeling exactly the same. It's just a case of bringing it to a close here. Hoisted back to her feet, Berenstain have to leave the field of play because the trainers have come on. Once she's off the field of play, the game will get back underway, and then we can bring the game to its conclusion. And let's be completely honest, Manchester United just caught out tonight. Couple of little errors in there that have been cruelly punished by a side that have been clinical whenever something has come their way, and that in the coming days when they get to go back and watch it, they'll be able to see that they weren't undone by excellent football 5 times. They've been punished for making small errors, and I suppose that's a little crumb of comfort as you go a little bit further away from the game, as the full-time whistle does go. A little crumb of comfort for them to go out. Actually, we weren't outplayed by Wolfsburg here. We were just undone by clinical finish.
Yeah, definitely. And if there's one thing to take from goals you concede where you feel like you could have done better on them, it is that level of control that as players, if you bring your fighting self and just tidy a few little things, the result could have been completely different. Yeah,
absolutely the case. I think we've said everything that needs saying, really, over the course of the last couple of hours. Manchester United, unfortunately, going down by 5-2 against Wolfsburg, clinically punishing Manchester United mistakes. Plenty of reaction to come on the Manchester United website and app as we go through the course of the evening. Make sure you keep an eye on that. Make sure you are subscribed to the Manchester United YouTube channel too, because the reaction, as and when we get it, will be on there, and the content continues through the week. Thank you very much to Lindsay. Thank you to Aoife, and we will see you next time.